Okay. Hello, lovely.
Hi, Alisa.
We just got to talking about astral travel, astral projection. I forgot to talk about remote viewing. Well, whatever. I'll do it another time. But anyway, now I want to talk with Erik about the spiritual aspects of belly fat. I mean, everywhere I look, including down here,
He has a huge belly.
Oh, yeah?
He has a huge belly, almost like he cannot walk, and he's trying to sit on a chair with his huge belly. He's all like, like obese.
Uh-oh. But
It's weird. It's
really
weird. He's not like fat. He just has a big belly with all of it, almost like he's pregnant.
Oh. So, well, you can't manifest anything over there, I guess. But
he's saying, Mama, you just said belly fat.
Yeah.
So I have belly fat. That's all.
Okay. There we go. So, I know when I'm getting too much belly fat because all of a sudden the cursor on my laptop goes crazy because my belly is lopped over on the trackpad and doing all sorts of crazy things. But I'm serious. But I look around and so many even young kids have abdominal fat. But they may not be fat everywhere, but just it's and there's a correlation with cortisol levels. Cortisol levels go up with stress, etc. But I kind of want to talk about the spiritual aspects of it. Just like diabetes, Erik, you said that sometimes these are people who cannot digest the sweetness of life, or nearsightedness. These are people who often take life for granted. So is there some spiritual reason for abdominal fat?
He's saying there's only spiritual reasons for belly fat, and as soon as you asked it, he's saying it's almost like, Mom, like the belly is making it visible when we are not watching. It's like we don't take care of our belly, we are not aware about our belly. So it is pronounced so that we end up noticing it. Like, I have this belly fat, I have a huge belly, I have flaps on my sides.
Mm-hmm. Muffin tops.
Yeah. So it starts from that. You not taking care. He's talking about lifestyle, eating wrong habits of eating, which starts from day one when you're on earth, from breastfeeding and when you start eating solids and things like that. He's saying about babies now, when they're small, the parents need to make them aware of their body, like when they're chewing. They should know how their gums are working. They're chewing, you're relishing that food. And he's also talking about technology being used to make it easy. Like it's a usual thing that there's an iPad where some video is playing and the kid is watching it while eating.
Oh, yeah.
So all he's doing is actually watching. He's not bothered what kind of food, how it tastes, whether he's swallowing, how much saliva is mixed, how much time did it spend to chew it. So it's like that starts from there, taking us away from our body. So we have to be aware. He's also talking about hunger signals and also what we do in the morning, going to the loo. He's saying when it used to be natural, like, older times when there were no diapers, we had no other choice of, he's talking like, you have to rush. We don't delay it. Like, he's explaining it like we take the kids for shopping with a diaper so that in between we don't have to rush them if they feel like going to the loo. So that's what he's explaining. So it's almost like after a point they don't know how it feels or when to go, how to control. Everything from the rectum, from the stomach, from the intestine,
Bladder,
everything.
yeah. Yeah, it's like,
Bladder.
we just, when it's convenient, this is going to happen. And so, yeah.
And he's saying it's not wrong. It's not wrong because the lifestyle has changed. Mothers have difficult lives.
Yeah.
Earlier it was all about like survival and just cooking and just taking care of children. Now it's not the case. But still he's saying there has to be a mid path. There has to be ways which from the childhood we try to make them aware of what's going inside their mouth, how it works, how it goes down.
And be aware of every body sensation, the sensation of thirst, the sensation of hunger, the sensation of satiety, being full, the sensation of having to go pee or poop or whatever. Okay.
Yes.
So, but
we have to slow down, Mom. Like the speed with we eat, that's like really bad because it takes, this is something even I've read, like it takes around 20 minutes to the whole food to reach our stomach.
Yeah.
So, if we are like eating fast, imagine what kind of amount of food we can eat in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to slow down.
The sensation of being full. Yeah.
Yes. So, by the time that it reaches our mind, we are like too full.
Yeah. Too late.
Too late, yeah.
I know some people who are thin everywhere else, but have a big stomach. And a lot of it's, I don't know, what is that from? Cortisol, obviously, from stress. And they have retroperitoneal fat. I mean, the brown fat, the stubborn fat, that's really hard to lose. So let's talk about that.
So he's talking about various reasons, Elisa, now. Like, like there are like pent-up emotions for few people. Everything goes into their gut. Anger goes into their gut. People who do not express, who must have been taught as children that, you're not supposed to cry too much, you're too sensitive and things like that. So they start, stacking everything and everything goes into their gut. That's why we say, the gut feeling.
Yeah.
So that's one like important part of our body. All the emotions, it's all about sacral chakra, he says. Yeah. So it can be one reason for that, like pent-up emotions, emotional trauma. Secondly, now he's talking about women, like belly fat in women.
Yeah.
He's talking about how belly fat is almost giving the feeling to a woman that she's safe.
Why?
It is almost like, this is something even I have read, which makes total sense to me. Like he's saying, there are stages in life when you feel that you're in danger.
Okay.
When people tend to hurt you, not just in physical form, like emotionally.
Yeah.
So after a point, your body starts feeling that the body is in danger. So it has to have what is it?
Extra.
Like a cover? Yes.
Oh, okay.
And especially for women.
I need this fat in case I starve to death.
Yes.
Is it that too? Or it's just like a sensation of being covered?
Like a bulletproof jacket, he says.
Oh, okay.
Almost like, okay, maybe this will keep me. This is not something we're doing consciously, but our body feels that it is in a fight or flight mechanism. If it works, it makes sense. Yeah.
And that's where the cortisol comes in. That's where the cortisol comes in. Yeah, awesome.
Yes. So the hormones and everything, comes into place and it starts making a layer, especially with women. The genital area and the reproductive organs are the most gentle parts. So it has to be more safe. So that's how they tend to be, more rounder around that area and the lower parts.
The lower belly.
So that whatever happens to them, they should just be at least, their reproductive system should be safe.
Okay.
Almost like that.
All right. Well, what about What about the upper? Like in the solar plexus area. That's where mine is. Y'all want to see? No, I wouldn't do that to you.
He's saying that's postural, Mom. Like he's talking about posture.
Okay.
That can also be a reason for few people, like, you know, few like fat in various areas, he's talking like you have to, for you, he's saying you have to stretch your stomach like they do these, okay, so he's talking, you need not like go for doing these advanced postures in yoga and all you can do, like you've seen those big balls in the gym, the huge ones. You can lie down with your back and stretch your belly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll help, because we don't do that actually. We don't bend backwards, he says.
Don't.
Yeah, we always are bending forward. So we are not using that part of our belly, like the upper, just right under the ribs. So that never stretches actually. Yeah, so that can help, he says. And
but for other people, what other spiritual reason for the upper fat? And then we'll go on to maybe talk about men, but let's start out with this upper hard fat, and also the brown fat that is in the back of the belly, sort of stored. But let's talk about the upper first. Sorry, I'm all over the place, taking this down all sorts of rabbit holes.
He is saying, okay, you're talking about the upper part?
Yeah, like different plexus area, yeah.
He's also talking about, like, again, talking about emotions now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm asking him. What do you mean? Okay. He's talking about like survival and, you know, all those things. It is not much different between the two chakras, like the solar plexus, or you know, when it comes to the flight or fight mechanism. It's mostly when you're feeling endangered, or you have felt that in you know, in your childhood maybe. It can be equal in terms, it can be the same, not equal, same in terms of men and women.
Okay.
And he's also talking about confidence, you know, and he's talking like it's like vice versa. Obviously, when you're not fit, you tend to feel more unconfident.
Oh, sure.
That's the word.
That makes sense.
And you tend to have more fat in that area, and it becomes more bad.
Yeah, vicious cycle.
Yes. So it's because of the emotions, is what he's saying. You know, even the upper part, and also postural. You know, like the like vocational way of sitting, like what the jobs that they do.
Okay. So is there any difference with men then?
Sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any difference with men?
Men. It's more on the survival for like men. They're not like endangered, but they feel like they're not able to, then they're not as good as they should be. Like it's also about the conditioning. You know?
Yeah.
Like they have to be a certain way, that they're supposed to take care of their family. They're supposed to you know, earn money. You know, yeah, because they're the sole breadwinners in most cases, he says.
Okay.
Now it's changing, but like that's how it, like it's in the DNA. Like that's
spiritual DNA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it works.
All right. So what about go ahead.
Yeah, and one more thing he had mentioned, I lost my train of thought. He was talking about the babies which are, you know, to whom formula food, what is it, like what we mix when
formula,
like that also plays an important role, because that's the start those babies can tend to be more chubby.
Yeah.
Although it's not necessarily that they're healthy.
Yeah. No.
As compared to the babies who are breastfed,
Yes.
and later when they eat the homemade, semi-solids or fruits or things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the children,
fatter and fatter now. Even our pets are getting fat. Everybody's getting fat.
Yeah. So that's also one more thing that he's saying, that the sugar and the formula food and everything, which is not like everything processed, right?
I know.
So that also plays a role in terms of children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about the beer belly? Is beer? Does beer have some causative factor, or is it just like people who drink or do so because they're not confident or because whatever? I mean, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
No, he's saying that has nothing to do with like the bear. It's like
Okay.
It is actually. Did you say? Okay, he's laughing at me now because I misunderstood. I thought like the bear, like the animal.
Yeah.
So, okay, now he's explaining. Yes, it has to do. I was asking like, yeah. So he is saying it's almost like, mostly the fat is not like fat. It is also like swelling, like bloatedness.
Okay.
Which comes with everything that goes inside the body. Beer is just one thing. He's saying the combination of all the fried foods and the beer and the chicken and the meat.
Yeah.
So the combination is the cause, he's saying.
Okay.
He's saying if you're like drinking once in a while, like socially, it won't affect that much. But if you're a person who has it like on a regular basis, that can be a reason for the bear belly. And what else?
Well, what about brown fat? The really hard to get rid of fat.
That's something that I've never heard of. What is it? He's talking about why we like it is actually related to law of attraction and things like that. Why we keep something in our body, including the fat, including the illness, because it has to solve some purpose. The purpose can be like we end up manifesting an illness. If for a person who has never been loved, they end up having a terminal illness, which ends up the family taking care of them, like Alzheimer's, cancer also. So he's talking about like the fat has also some purpose to play, Mom, in your body, which is really ridiculous to you, but it has some purpose to solve. So it doesn't go away because maybe you're doing something different, which it wants to show. It's something wrong, which it wants to show you. The day you get the reason, which can be different for different people, it'll start to melt, he says. And he's almost showing me a scoop of butter, which it's as easy as that, although it doesn't sound like that.
This is interesting. I'm reading about brown fat is activated by cold. It's what hibernating bears and babies have, but it's a higher, well, let me just read it here for people. A dark-colored adipose tissue with many blood vessels, unlike regular fat, involved in the rapid production of heat in hibernating animals and human babies. And then Live Science, if you guys go to that, you can read what is brown fat? 5 fascinating facts. Also, brown fat in humans, turning up the heat on obesity. That's by NCBI-National Institute of Health. So y'all read about that. It's cool. All right.
So so he's saying it's the food that we eat.
Yeah.
It's like, and He's saying everything, including the fat or the illness or whether it's belly or if you have a leg ache, it's because your body wants you to pay attention to the leg.
Yeah.
The reason.
Your soul is trying to tell you, bring your attention to your higher self.
Yes. Almost like body is screaming for attention.
Yeah. So let's talk about solutions because we're almost out of time. But of course, being encouraged to express your emotions, must be important. Even if you do it in an empty room, right? And what else? Clearing clearing and balancing the sacral and solar plexus chakra. I mean, tell me what we can do.
He's talking about, it starts from as a parent, what you can do for children is as they're growing, that's the best time you can make them aware. You can bring them inside their body, Like he's saying gadgets are fine for entertainment, but when they're eating, they have to know how the food looks
right?
How it feels, And he's also talking about the color of the food, like the carrots.
Pay attention to all of it. And you can even say, look at this. How does this feel? How does this taste? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so what about us grown-ups? How do we get rid of our belly fat, upper or lower?
He's talking about grounding, which is weird. I mean, I had no clue like that has something to do with. He's talking about lifestyle, Lisa. Like we all know, like if we work out, if we are like active, we go to the gym, we work out, we lift weights, that will definitely help. But he's also talking about being active on a daily basis. Like, okay, the bell rang, or who's gonna open the door? That doesn't help.
Right.
That doesn't help. So that has to come from a young age.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty obvious. Eat better, exercise, be more active. What about spiritual things that we can do? Things that are related to spirituality.
Yeah, emotional. Let me see what he's telling. He's talking about water, but is there something called something like is there something called solar water, like they keep in the sun, or have like the bottles kept in the sun for some time? He's saying I have no clue either. He's talking that can help because that warmth of the sun and vitamin D.
Solar water. Solar water.
So that can be one thing that can be helpful in the fat that is like difficult to lose.
Yeah.
With other things being done that can aid. And other than that, like spiritually, what can be done? He's talking about expressing in terms of like, not having pent up emotions. He's saying it's okay even when, you are in a meeting in the office, you are in a weird situation, you cannot express yourself, go into a room and scream, he says. Take it out, get out of your car, scream when nobody's watching. You have to get it outside, otherwise it'll keep stacking, he says.
Right. And maybe write down write about your feelings too, right?
Yes.
In a diary or a journal.
Yes. Writing also helps. And he's also talking about past life regression, Elisa.
Oh, okay.
For certain people, certain belly fat can also be, he's almost showing me like when there is a stab and the wound is healed, there's a skin or a thick layer that comes on top of the wound, right?
Okay, yeah.
It's almost like that. So it can be a physical injury also that has happened in one of the past lives.
Yeah, okay.
Or it can be related to a very traumatic experience to that particular chakra.
Okay.
Which is now being you still feel that endangered feeling, so you end up having fat in that area and you cannot lose it.
Okay.
So that can also help. What else? Sleeping, he's saying. Sleep cycles are a major, having wrong sleep cycles are a major.
Yeah, because you have nocturnal release of different hormones and you can mess all that up. So good.
He's saying around, yes, sorry, I interrupted. He's saying, because he's speaking so fast, I'm like, don't want to lose him. He is mentioning that around 10 p.m. is the time when we should slowly drift into the sleep, or at least be on the bed.
Okay.
Because that's when biologically our melatonin and serotonin, all those hormones start coming into play.
Yeah.
But when we're too much in the light, we have all these, lamps lit up.
I got blue blockers at 8:30. I put on my special the TV and all that. That has really helped my sleep, people.
Yes.
Right, last question, then we need to go. Should you like cleanse and balance the solar plexus and sacral chakra? I can't remember if you answered that or not. I mean, would that help?
Okay, can you? He says. He's talking about he's talking about a 7-minute cleanse, which is on the internet, which is about balancing all the chakras.
Okay.
And he's also talking about grounding, which can help in that too.
Yeah, you can look that up on YouTube, people. Lots of grounding videos and stuff. All right, well, thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, Erik. Hopefully I'll lose my muffin top by the time we talk next. Probably not, because I'm going to Norway and eating my way.
He's saying you are doing more than good, Mom. That's what he.
All right. Well, I love you, Erik. And until next time.
I love you too.
Bye, lovely. And you guys check me out at thelovelylife.in. I will put that right here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Talk to you later, sweetie.